Hey, it's Sarah here. Thanks for joining me today. Today, I want to tell you a quick story about an experience I had in high school and what you can learn from it too.
Hey, this is Sarah Peterson with MLM Marketing Explosion. On this show, I bring you the best tips and tools for building your network marketing team using social media. I do a lot of how-to episodes as well as interviews with some of the most successful network marketers in the industry. So if you're new here, consider subscribing.
Have you ever had that moment in life where it just stands out and you can remember that particular point in time because of how it felt, either for better or for worse? Do you ever have moments in time like that? Like that little snippet, like it's almost like you've turned into 1 second of a show and you can see it and it doesn't replay in your mind because it's not that big of an event to replay in your mind, but you can still picture it like you were looking at a book in that picture, even though there is no picture of that experience. Have you guys ever felt something like that? Well, the story I'm going to share with you today is one of those moments. I can still see myself in the room. I can still see the people that watched. And it was, spoiler alert, a little bit horrible. So we had a big theater competition every single year at this big local college. And I can't remember now if it was Chapman University or if it was Loyola Marymount down in California. I can't remember which one it was because there were two competitions that we went to. And I want to say it doesn't even matter. But anyways, it was a huge deal. And the big theater departments from the high schools all participated in it. And there were awards. It was a big deal. When you went to this particular competition, the dream was to be picked to be part of the show at the end of it. So I can't remember now. I want to say it was 2 days. And then on Saturday, the people that had been picked would practice all day, and there was the big showcase that night, the big show with these, people that had been handpicked to be part of it. You had to audition, and they only picked a few kids in each area to be part of the show. And I had always been praised for my singing abilities. It just kind of came easy to me, right? And so I decided that I was going to audition for that musical theater part of the showcase. All you had to do was sing the song. It was going to be easy. I was going to be a shoo-in. I could do this in my sleep, right? I knew I had this in the bag. Any of you guys have something like that where you're like, I could just wing this because it's something I'm great at, whether it's sports or doing crafty things, you like arts and craftsy kind of things, whatever it is, I'm sure you have something that you can just do like that, right? It's like just second nature to you. Seriously, what is it? What is that thing for you that's just, it's easy for you, right? It comes natural. Well, singing is that thing for me. So I procrastinated on picking a song for the audition, and I actually learned the words for the second verse the day before the competition. And I was not overly worried about it. I wasn't nervous about it. Again, this was something that was super easy for me. And truth be told, in most auditions, you never sing more than the first verse and the chorus. Usually it's just the chorus because they just do the little snippets. They just need to see a little bit to see if you're the right fit, right? So I really was not thinking this was going to be anything that was going to be hard. And I had that first verse down. It was just the second verse that I was a little bit fuzzy on, right? But again, it wasn't going to be a big deal. They weren't going to have me sing the second verse. That never happened in an audition, especially not when it was sure that there were going to be a lot of high school students auditioning, right? No big deal. I had this in the bag. Oh, you guys, I will never forget this audition. And this is what I was talking about, where I can still see in my mind, I can see the piano over here. It was a smaller-ish room, but this is one of those few auditions where every other person auditioning happened to be in the room. So talk about adding to the embarrassment. So I sing that first verse flawlessly. Like, it was amazing. You have that moment. Have you ever had that moment, whether it's in sports or I don't know, whatever, where you're like, yes, I nailed that. And like, you just know that it was spot on. And you're like, that was like killer performance. That's how I felt after that first verse. And I could kind of hear the other students whispering about how good I was. So I'm kind of getting a little bit cocky, a little bit, oh yeah, that's me. You know what I mean? Not in a bad way, but just in a confident way, right? I could see the judges, they were smiling, which was unusual. They were taking notes and I knew I'd done great. So I knew their notes could be nothing but positive, right? I knew it was going to be a show into that coveted showcase. I was so excited. Talk about the bragging rights, right? And of course I deserved it. I was good at what I did. And I could taste that victory, right? And then the next thing I knew, all of a sudden we were launched into that dreaded second verse. that second verse that I didn't know, the second verse that I kind of tried to memorize in the car on the way up to this competition, right? I have never had anything happen quite to this extent before, but my mind went completely blank. I couldn't remember a single word. I mean, literally not a single word. I didn't even, which is unusual as well, I also didn't even have the presence of mind to just sing that first verse over again. I mean, I literally had nothing, which is very unlike me for any of you guys that know me. Normally I can fake my way through it. I can make something up on the spot. This is something I'm good at. The acting and in the shows and being the singing is something I can do. But that day I had absolutely nothing. I just stood there feeling stupid, looking stupid, and sort of kind of humming along to it until we got to the chorus, and then I started singing again. And I was hoping that because my first verse was so amazing that it was going to be enough, right? It was going to be enough to let me in. I knew that I was a better singer than most of the people there. And I just figured maybe, like, I was kind of on that wing and a prayer, maybe I was going to be allowed to participate in this showcase, right? Because I was good. I had a great voice. I was good. The first verse was amazing. But alas, that wasn't the case. And I'll never forget my disappointment in myself. I had nobody to blame but me. I should not have been in the audience that last night. I should have been on that stage performing in that showcase, but I hadn't prepared like I needed to. I didn't deserve it. I mean, I really honestly didn't deserve it. And I thought that I could just fly by the seat of my pants and that talent was going to be enough to carry me through, right? Well, the thing that I really want you to take away from this is that practice is going to beat talent every single time. Have you ever looked up there and thought, oh my gosh, if I just had this, or if I was just great at that, they're just a natural. They just got this in the bag because it's something that they were born with. I could never compete. Well, that's simply not the case. If you practice, your practice will beat talent every single time. Even when that competition is stiff, you'll beat them out because you've practiced. And I absolutely believe that you can practice your way into any skill that you ever want to learn. Anything, honestly, anything. And so what this means for you in your life is that even if you aren't sure that you're the most talented, the most outgoing person in the room, the most, fill in the blank, whatever, it doesn't really matter because you can out practice them and it's going to be easy when it matters. So what I want you guys to do is start practicing talking to people around the town. The most important thing that you can learn as a network marketer is how to talk to other people. Now, I don't mean that weird try to convert them and, would you like to see my opportunity? Trust me, I've done that plenty of times, but that's not what I'm talking about. And that's actually not what's going to make the difference in your business. But getting to know people is. So when you're in line at the grocery store, start talking to people. Hey, how's it going? How long have you been working here? What do you like best about your job? What are you going to do when you get off work? Whatever. But just start asking questions. And I don't want you to ask questions that are going to lead to, well, I've got this answer or the solution for you. I just want you to start asking questions. Now, the coolest thing about doing this around town, like say the grocery store, is that they're going to start to recognize you. And you'll know that because when you come in, they'll smile. And bonus points if you get to the point that you can start asking them about, hey, I know you were on vacation last week. How did it go? What did you like about it? How was it to see your grandkids? Whatever, right? You're in a relationship business. Your opportunity and your products don't matter as much as you probably wish that they did, right? I remember when I got started with my MLM company, I was like, these products are a slam dunk and a no-brainer. Why wouldn't people use them, right? But that's not what people are looking at. They're actually looking at you and looking at you, saying if they want to follow you, if they want to be with you, if you're the leader that they trust, and more importantly, if they can do it too. Well, here you are just creating relationships. You're just talking to people. And that means that when you get back online, guess what? It's going to translate to that too, because you're going to know how to talk to people on the messenger thread. You're going to know how to talk to people in the comments, because really that's what the entire key to everything is creating these relationships. So if you can create these relationships around town when the stakes are not high, when it doesn't really matter. When you get there in that spotlight, so to speak, and all of a sudden you're talking to a prospect that's interested in what you're doing, you're going to be able to do it naturally and easily because you already know how to create those relationships. It's something you've been practicing all along. And believe it or not, it was not a skill or a talent I had. I did not like talking to people, but I've taught myself to talk to people. And it's a superpower, you guys. Get good at listening. That's really the trick, is get good at listening. And it's a skill that I absolutely guarantee that you can learn. I learned it too. It may take a little bit of time, but that's okay. What's a little bit of time, right? And it's also a skill that you're going to use in your everyday life, because that's seriously the best skill you could ever develop, is that skill of being able to create that rapport and being able to create that relationship. Thanks for watching today, and I'll see you soon.
Would you like to know how to build your business in an hour a day using social media? If so, go over to www.marketingexplosion.org and get the same training that I give my new team members so that you can learn how to automate your business, attract qualified leads, and get paid for prospecting. I'll see you there.